Welcome to Silver Dove Films interview show. My name is Michael Gere, and I am here with David A.R. White, actor, producer, director, man of many talents, many hats. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you are here. Now, it's amazing because you guys started PureFlix, and I want to find out how that got started and how that all came together. And then you've grown to where I believe you're probably one of the biggest film production companies, faith-based in the country. Is that right?
We're the #1 producing Christian faith-based studio in the world right now.
Yeah.
And hence there's never been as many titles like this being released into the marketplace on a consistent basis. And and every year it's been growing, and we're just thankful.
Yeah, without a doubt. So you're producing your own films, and then you're distributing other filmmakers' films.
Yeah, correct. We produce about between like 4 to 8 films a year ourselves, and then we acquire the rest of them through different producing partners all over all around the country.
Yeah, that's fabulous. So what got you started with PureFlix? You've got partners, and how did this all come about?
Yeah, end of 2005, Russell Wolf, Michael Scott, and I started PureFlix just with the idea that we wanted to produce and acquire films and that uplift and inspire the human spirit instead of tearing it down, and putting that kind of inspirational product out into the marketplace. Yeah. And to provide an ongoing source for people to come and be able to see these films. In the past, I did my first Christian film in 1992, so I've been in this industry a long time, and I was just I was like 5 years old in 92, for the record. But the interesting thing was during those times there was probably 3 or 4 Christian films being done a year, and that was a big year if that many came out. And all through the 90s, we started producing, or I produced my first one in '99, a little movie called The Moment After.
Yeah. And I remember that film.
I think you were in that film.
I wasn't.
You weren't?
I met you just after that.
Oh, okay.
So I knew all of you. I was like, how cool, you guys were in a film. I was all excited to even know you guys were even in a film, but
yeah, I haven't seen it, but I thought you were in that film.
No, my friend Therese was. Therese Byrne, remember her?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, she was in it.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we started that film, and then they started, features kind of came into the marketplace through Cloud 10, and they started getting more and more popular, and so it's just been growing. Every year there's more and more product out there, specifically with Christian world values. So,
and you've just finished shooting a film, The Beginning of the End.
Correct.
And I had a part in that. He was nice enough to work
You were in that movie.
I was.
Okay.
Oh, I got to say, this is funny because we were on set and you were joking. You've done how many Rapture films, and you've missed the Rapture, you've done like 8 Rapture films, and you've missed it 7 times.
Maybe more. I don't even.
You keep getting left behind.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so it was a great film. Now I'm excited about this film. It was fun to be part of it.
Yeah, there's a whole host of recognizable talent in it. I play a guy, Josh McManus. I finally remember my last name. I have a tendency to forget my last name, but
it keeps changing, right?
Yeah.
Who am I today?
I shot a scene the other day with my wife, my movie wife in the movie, and we were trying to figure out what our last name was, and we couldn't figure it out. So it's not anyway. So I play Josh McManus, and I am and Jen Lilly plays my wife in the movie, and we. She's a believer and I'm not, and I'm a gun salesman. I'm out on the road, and I basically kind of foil this robbery that's taking place by these barbarian motorcycle gang guys, and so they start chasing me, and the rapture occurs, and it's really my trying to get home to my wife and my child. In the midst of this, crazy backdrop of the world and this motorcycle gang, and so there's a ton of action, but at the core, it's really about a guy trying to find his belief, his faith in, that question: is there a God? And if there is a God, who is that God? And and so he starts along this journey of faith.
Yeah.
There's Brian Bosworth is in it, Stephen Borden.
Yeah.
Always throws me off. Ray Wise, a lot of
Roberts
people.
has a part. Bruce Marciano.
And Bruce, I love Bruce.
I know.
Bruce on the show,
Yeah, Bruce has been on the show. If you haven't seen that interview, go to our website and you'll see it. Bruce is fabulous and such an amazing actor.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And Michael Gere. Right here.
Yes, I have. I get raptured, by the way. So poof, I'm gone. You're left behind again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun shoot. It was fun getting to hang out with everybody. Your recent film, Jerusalem Countdown, I just watched it. It's out right now. It's fabulous. You did a fabulous job in it.
Thank you.
It's another action film with a great message about end times, the rapture. So go see the Jerusalem Countdown. But you like doing action films.
I do. Yeah, I really like them. You know, as a kid, I always would play cops and robbers and do the whole thing, you know. And I'm from a Mennonite background. My father was a Mennonite pastor, and so Mennonites really don't believe, they're pacifists. They don't believe in war. And so my whole growing up time, every time I would pick up a gun, my dad would be like, "Please, David, don't, you know." Jesus said, "Turn the other cheek." So, you know, it's like, not shoot the guy. So I try to always shoot the people me coming to faith. So,
yeah. So you can turn the other cheek later.
Yeah. But I enjoy it. You know, it's definitely a fun ride, and
because I know the budget, you don't have a Hollywood budget, obviously, but you do your films in such a way that it looks like you've got a Hollywood budget. You know, the private jet that you had there, when you did it in the blink of an eye, that gorgeous yacht. I'm like, where do you get these beautiful props that make your films look like they're bigger budgets than what they may be?
People tend to, I don't know, it's a combination between relationships and then people who have a heart for what we're doing. So, like even in the blink of an eye, that the yacht that we were able to use was a 120-foot yacht, you know, in Mexico for like 2-3 weeks. We were down there on Larry's yacht, and just Larry believed in what we did and wanted to make it affordable for us to actually be able to do it. So, and then we try to obviously do, you know, in turn things that whatever we can do for them, whether they need footage or, you know, you never know what you have to be resourceful. That's the thing. When we did The Moment After, you know, we shot it for $87,000, and it was myself, Kevin, and Brad, and Wes Llewellyn, and we basically kind of all pulled whatever sources we had, and then had our friends and family invest into it, and I think that's, you know, that's, we would encourage, you know, filmmakers out there, if you have a dream to do a movie, go do it. And even if you don't have any money, just, you know, just start the process, and you'll be amazed at what ends up coming into fruition, you know, that the movies just keeps expanding, you know. Yeah. So.
Well, it's great. So then the movies that are being produced then are being produced because of help from others, which is great, which means if you have any resources and you want to help, you know, I'm sure you're always looking for resources.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, be part of the movie business. You know, contact PureFlix, which is exciting. I mean, it's great to be part of the movie business and something that has a message in it. Which leads me to my next question: why faith-based films? You could have produced any kind of films out there. Why did you decide to go with faith-based?
I started with faith-based films because that's what I knew. You know, they always say, do what you know. And I grew up in the church. I grew up watching these films on Sunday night in our services. Back then, it was only Worldwide Pictures that would do you know, and then they'd come out once or twice a year. And on those old 16mm prints that would always break, and so you'd be sitting there in the dark going, is this gonna work, you know, today? And God had put a dream and a desire in my heart about film, you know, about being part of the movie industry. Even when I was back in Kansas in the middle of a wheat field, with never having met anybody in the industry, you know, or even have done any plays or anything, I still had this thing in my heart that said, I want to be in the movie industry. And mind you, I grew up Mennonite, so I saw one movie in a movie theater the first 18 years of my life. Wow. So it's not like, you know, that's the interesting thing, that I think, you know, that God puts those desires and dreams in our hearts, and we need to listen to them, you know, and to take steps of faith. The Encounter 2 is coming out. People are very excited about that film because they loved Encounter 1. But Encounter 2 has a lot more action in it, because I saw the trailer. It looks fabulous. I can't wait for that one to come out either. We shot that movie in Thailand. And I think the log line is very simple. It's Jesus in Bangkok. So it's like, you know, it's like, like right there it goes, oh my gosh. So, yeah, the first one, you know, was just this sleeper hit that I had the pleasure of directing it in 6 nights. That's right, you directed 6 nights. I don't think people would believe you shot that entire film in 6 nights. That's pretty amazing. It must have been a tough, hard-working 6 nights. It was very hard-working. My wife had just had our second child, and so she wasn't too pleased with, she had a C-section. The following week, I went off and did this movie. So it's a fun little thing, because, you know, but I really felt like I was supposed to do it, and it was this little movie that Bruce Marciano, you know, came in and starred in, and it just exploded. Like we get these emails literally every day from all over the world about the best ones are like they show it to a girls' shelter or whatever, and 27 out of the 27 girls come forward and give their lives to the Lord.
Oh, nice.
Like that's incredible, you know. Or they show it in a prison, and the same thing happens with the guys, and it's just like it's truly the Lord's hand on a specific film that that had no money and that was shot in an unbelievable, ridiculous circumstance. And we shot it actually out at Santa Ranch.
Oh, you did?
With the diner.
So that's here in Santa Clarita, California.
Yeah, we built the diner and just right down the road. Yeah. So, anyway, so we did the sequel, and we're excited about the response to it as well.
And that's what's great. The reason I'm sure you're also doing these faith-based because of the ministry purpose and changing the lives, which is what's happening with the films that you're producing. And they're fun to produce. And the next one, like we talked about in the beginning of the end, it's an action film with bikers and guns and shoot 'em up, but there's a Christian message and faith. And what a great way to share the message with, especially the new young generation, you know.
To be honest, like when I felt like, you know, when the Lord had put me in this place, in this arena, that has always been my, I guess, conflict inside. Is I was like, Lord, I don't want to do what has been done in the Christian film industry. Like that's not. I feel like you gave me more passions and desires than just settling, because I felt it was settling almost. And but I feel like. Through all that, it's like you don't have to, you know, he created all of us special with a specific purpose and a plan. So he's not going to say, you know, and oftentimes we're like fearful of like, well, if I give my life to the Lord, or if I submit to God, he's going to put me in Africa, or he's going to put me in somewhere that I do not want to go.
Exactly.
And you know what? He may. You never know. But he knows more than we even know what that desire is in our heart. With that, God knew my personality. He knew what drives me and my passions are, and he's allowing them to line up with where I'm at, and because I believe that I've submitted to what I believe he wants me to do. And that's the neat thing, you know. It's like if you submit, if you give me the desires of your heart, then I will do exceeding abundantly beyond anything that you could ever ask or imagine.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing. The other thing I think is great about your ministry, because you're making movies, but it is a ministry, is there are plenty of people on set who are not Christians. And it's all part of it. It's not just when the movie's produced that it's ministering, it's on set, it's the people involved and the lives that can be changed there as well, which I think is exciting.
Our ministry is in front and behind the camera. It's loving as Christ loved. And, you know, believe me, I fail at that in a lot of different ways. But you hope that you were just able to share the love of Christ, right? The plan and the purpose that he has for their lives, you know, of hope, of healing, of forgiveness.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. So you've done a lot of movies with your wife, Andrea Logan White, and a lot of people could not work with their spouse. How does that work out for you guys? I know this last movie, you guys were kind of separated. She was part of the biker gang, and the biker gang was chasing you, so it's different. But you've done movies where you start together. Yeah. How does that work?
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to work with my spouse. Andrea I love that. I love, you know, that we share things. When our kids Ocean was in this movie,
nice.
You know, and that's stressful when your kids are on set, because you just hope that they, you know, just behave and perform the way you want them to. And it's the same thing with your spouse. You just hope that they, no. I'm totally kidding. But
that's funny.
But it's awesome. I'm thankful that, you know, it's almost like, it's like, I guess, our photo albums of our of our years together. We can see them by the movies that we've done. So if we don't keep photo albums, we just watch the making of, and we're like, there, that was the year 4 in our marriage.
One last thing. One of the reasons I'm doing the interview show is I'm trying to get Christians, people out there just excited about the faith-based industry.
Yeah.
Anybody who's making Christian films. And I know one of the things you're trying to do is getting churches to show the films at their church, which is a great outreach. people, I really encourage you to buy films, to give away to your friends, buy films, invite friends over to watch them. You know, use it as the tool that it is, because that's what this is about. You've got the ministry behind as you're making the films. You've got the ministry of the message in the films going out, but you need the people to actually get behind you and get those films out there and use those films as a tool. Do you want to talk about that? Because that's what I'm passionate about. I want these films out there for the world to see, and only the Christians can get them out. Well,
first of all, I love what you do here, you know, on the show, and when you told me your heart and you know why you're doing this, and our hats are off to you, and just you know, we want to pray for you and just lift you up too, that this show goes out further and further, you know. Tell your friends about this show, first of all, but thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Seriously. And you know, if you go to pureflix.com, first of all, and PUREFLIX.com, you click on the church showings, the church ministry program. And basically what we do is we try to push our films out to the church, so then the church can use them as tools to reach into a community as like an outreach into the community, that people may not come to a Sunday morning service, but they will come to see a movie night. And we've gotten such great response from people that that they've sometimes had the biggest crowds that they've had, and their church grows because of these movie nights, and also just because then people are getting blessed in a different medium. You know, we live in a sight and sound generation. Our culture is impacted by the media, so we should use that media, and these films are a tool for churches to do that. So if you check out the PureFlix movie ministry, you can see that on the pureflix.com site.
Yeah, and buy copies. And this isn't meant to be a sales pitch. I'm buying copies because it's a ministering tool. I've got a gal at church. She's going through something really difficult with her boyfriend and trying to decide if she's going to get married with him. He's not a believer. I said, you need to watch The Encounter. So I went and got her a copy, because in that movie they talk about that issue among many other issues. So it's a great tool to say, you're dealing with this. This movie's going to help you with that. And Jesus in the film, Bruce Marciano, gives a great solution to the gal who's dealing with that in her life, so it worked for this other person. So it's a great tool to use.
The amazing thing too is because of there's so many films out there now, is that they all deal with different topics. So if you know, no matter what you're going through, there's almost a movie that touches on that. Now, we hope that it's a good movie for you, you know, but you could certainly, you know, it's like casting a vote. If you want to see more of these films, if you want more of them out there, then you have to support them. And just encourage you, if that's what you want, if you are, you know, want these films that inspire that human spirit, then go out and get them on DVD, or get your church to get involved, or you know, you can rent them online now. They're on iTunes. They're all over the place. You know, so they're becoming more and more accessible. And then I would say, if you could pray for us, we need wisdom. You know, it's of what we produce, and it's interesting because the more and more that it grows, the more and more we realize that we don't know what to do. Like it's really we pray for wisdom all the time, because there's so many different choices. There's so many choices. There's so many things that come up that you're trying to figure out, how do I deal with that in a Christ-centered way, the way the Lord would want me to, you know. And so, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for all your support.
Well, I just love what you're doing, and appreciate everything that what you're producing and putting out, and the tool that you're giving all of us to be able to use. And thank you for your time today. It's been a great interview. I appreciate answering all the questions.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Exciting. For more interviews like this one, go to silver.films.com and opt into our email list, and we'll email you and notify you every time we have a new interview. We've got lots of great people coming up, stars and producers and directors, a lot of good things. And we just finally finished the script for our short film, so we're actually going to get into pre-production on that. I'm very excited about that. Hopefully we'll be doing a feature someday, but we're starting with the short film, and you can get involved. You can go to our website and click on the Get Involved link and find out how you can help us get this thing produced. But we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.